Do you think of yourself as a creative thinker? Well, you can, because creativity is a skill. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and most importantly, we inspire. And we are working on a series based upon the writings of John C. Maxwell, How Successful People Think. And we're along, and now we're at the point where we want to talk about creative thinking. You know, despite the importance of a person's ability to think with creativity, few people seem to possess the skill in abundance. If you're not as creative as you'd like to be, you can change your way of thinking. Creative thinking isn't necessarily original thinking. In fact, I think people mythologize original thought. Most often, creative thinking is a composite of others' thoughts discovered along the way. Let me give you some characteristics of creative thinkers. Perhaps you're not even sure what I mean when I ask whether you're a creative thinker or not. Consider some characteristics that creative thinkers have in common. Creative thinkers value ideas. Highly creative people are dedicated to ideas. They don't rely on their talent alone, they rely on their discipline. Their imagination is like a second skin. They know how to manipulate it to the fullest. Creativity is about having ideas, lots of them. You only have ideas when you value ideas. Creative thinkers explore options. You know, I've yet to meet a creative thinker who didn't love options. Exploring is a multitude of possibilities, helps to stimulate the imagination. And imagination is crucial to creativity. As Albert Einstein, one of the best thinkers of all time, says, and I quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Now, I want to kind of pause right here from John C. Maxwell and point out to you that I have a work that I have left the connection in the description box below, the Owner's Manual to Your Brain. And in that Owner's Manual to Your Brain, I give you a blueprint, a how-to you can be more creative using your subconscious mind. John Maxwell is focused on the conscious mind with creativity. Einstein was somebody, a player, who really used the subconscious mind, and I use kind of the formula in my explanation, the Owner's Manual for Your Brain, of how to get from point A to point B to point C and how to become more creative using more or less Einstein's formula. So I want, you know, there's two alternatives here. Once again, when you approach a subject from different angles, you're allowing more connections to be possible, which is what I'm trying to do here with creativity. So we're focusing right now with John C. Maxwell on conscious ways. My thing that I did, the Owner's Manual for Your Brain, gives you the blueprint for how you can become more creative. I strongly recommend that you go and you watch that. I consider it to be my very best work. Creative thinkers embrace ambiguity. H.L. Mencken said, you know, it's the dull man who's always sure and the sure man who's always dull. Creative people don't feel the need to stamp out uncertainty. They see all kinds of inconsistencies and gaps in life, and they often take delight in exploring those gaps or in using their imagination to fill them in. Creative thinkers celebrate the offbeat. Creativity, by its very nature, often explores off of the beaten path and goes against the grain. To foster creativity in yourself or others, be willing to tolerate a little oddness. Creative thinkers connect the unconnected. You know, this is my main theme on creativity, what it is. It's connecting the unconnected. Creating additional thoughts is like taking a trip in your car. You may know where you're going, but only as you move toward your destination can you see and experience things in a way not possible before you started. Creative thinkers, they don't fear failure. They embrace it. Creativity demands the ability to be unafraid of failure because creativity equals failure. You may be surprised to hear that, but it's true. Creativity requires a willingness to look dumb. It means getting out on a limb, knowing that that limb will often break. It also means that you understand that the juiciest fruit on the vine is out on the limb. Creative people know these things and keep searching for new ideas. They just don't let the ideas that don't work prevent them from coming up with more ideas that do work. Now, why should you discover the joy of creative thinking? Here's why. Creativity can improve a person's quality of life. Here's 5 specific things creative thinking has the potential to do for you. Creative thinking adds value to everything. Wouldn't you enjoy a limitless reservoir of ideas that you can draw upon at any time? Well, that's what creative thinking gives you. For that reason, no matter what you currently are able to do, creativity can increase your capabilities. Creativity is being able to see what everybody else has seen and think what nobody else has thought so that you can do what nobody else has done. Sometimes creative thinking lies along the lines of invention, where you break new ground. Other times it moves along the lines of innovation, which helps you to do old things in new ways. But either way, it's seeing the world through sufficiently new eyes so that new solutions appear. And that always adds value. Creative thinking compounds over the years. Creative thinking is hard work, but creative thinking compounds given if you put enough time, area, and focus into it. Perhaps more than any other kind of thinking, creative thinking builds on itself and increases the creativity of the thinker. The more you use, the more you have. Sadly, too often creativity is smothered rather than nurtured. See school systems, public. There has to be a climate in which new ways of thinking, perceiving, and questioning are encouraged. If you cultivate creative thinking in an environment that nurtures creativity, there's no telling what kind of ideas you can come up with. Let me point something out to you right now. I feel like my parents. I'm telling you right now, okay? I'm telling you right now. When you first start with creative thinking and you get into the discipline of creative thinking, you start with a problem and then you work your way to a solution. You know what happens after a while? Is you come up with a solution and then you need to find a problem that it solves. It's kind of strange, but if you have the discipline to do what it takes to be a creative thinker, you're going to find that your situation will change from looking for an answer to a problem to finding a problem to fit the answer that you already came up with. Strange. Creative thinking draws people to you and your ideas. Creativity is intelligence having fun. People admire intelligence and they're always attracted to fun. So the combination is fantastic. If you cultivate creativity, you'll become more attractive to other people and they will be drawn to you. Perfect examples, one person that I knew that really epitomized that thought was a gentleman named John O'Connor. John O'Connor was somebody I played basketball with. He wouldn't get up for the national anthem. He would go out and protest. He became kind of a big shot in political circles. After college, he wrote some books. He was friends with Jesse Jackson. You know, he used to say things like, the solution to pollution is revolution. All right? Very, very creative, very, very upbeat, but always fun. Let me give you a different example. Eli, I know you love basketball. The person that essentially was Mr. Creativity as far as basketball was a guy named Pistol Pete Maravich. He would do things in a fancy way, a Showtime way, and he was very, very creative with the way he did things. It was fun to watch him, and the guys that you like watching in basketball are the ones that are creative and the ones that are fun. Creative thinking helps you learn more. Author and creativity expert Ernie Zielinski says, creativity is the joy of not knowing at all. The joy of not knowing at all refers to the realization that we seldom, if ever, have all the answers. We always have the ability to generate more solutions to just about any problem that there is. Being creative is being able to see or imagine a great deal of opportunity to life's problems. Creativity is having options, unquote. It almost seems too obvious to say, but if you're always actively seeking new ideas, you're going to continue to learn stuff. Creativity is teachability. It's seeing more solutions than problems. And I know you all know people say, oh, we can't do that because of this, we can't do this, it's not in the charter. There's always reasons. Those are the people that see more problems than solutions. People that see more solutions than problems are the ones that are the creative ones. And the greater the quantity of thoughts, the greater the chance for learning something new. Creative thinking challenges the status quo. If you desire to improve your world or even your own situation, then creativity will help you. The status quo and creativity are incompatible. Excuse me. Creativity and innovation always walk hand in hand. All right, we're going to stop right there. Next time we're going to go over some things about how you can become more creative in a conscious way. And let's remember that if you want to be a good thinker, it's something that you have to do intentionally. It doesn't happen by accident. You have to be an intentional thinker. So let's be intentional, and let's not ration the passion. Let's fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.